Good evening. Oh, my allergies are on DEFCON 50, which is why we're late, because I had to take a shower because I'm gonna die. It's just a matter of time. I'm not long for this world. After work today, I mounted my, oh my god, words. I mounted my tower for my PC under my desk and cleaned out under my desk and redid all the cable management. And my god, I also cleaned out the inside of my PC. The dust, it's so strong. There's so much dust. But I took some allergy medicine like less than 5 minutes ago, so hopefully it kicks in soon. And I got some soup. Good soup. Very good soup. I like. Good soup. But we're gonna draw today. I drew a new thumbnail image for YouTube. It was a little doodle, but today we're gonna work on the Sophitia illustration that I teased in the Discord. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. I may eat in between because I'm very hungry. I was quite tunnel visioned on getting my desk set up correctly. Oh, my footrest isn't here. Ow. Alright. Let's draw. Raveled. Hello. Welcome in. Is my mouse showing up on the screen? My mouse is not showing up. I'm going to change that. I want the mouse to show up. Oh no, it should be capture cursor. Okay, well if the mouse doesn't show up, oops, sorry. I'm trying a different layout today. No, it's showing up. Okay, just took a little bit. We have a little bit of a different layout, so I'm trying to figure out how to see everything correctly. Yeah, let me turn the BGM down here. All right, I mean, for the most part, I think I'm gonna be doing line art today, so it's gonna be chill. Because I wasn't sure if I wanted to line this, and then I did some like sample brush tests for like what painting style I wanted to use, and I still can't decide, so we're gonna just try and line it, because I like doing line work. I mean, even this, if I was doing like a painterly thing, I might use it as line work. What is the free hand tool, and why can I not use it? It's okay. I'm actually going to zoom out because I find that doing good line work involves zooming out more as I get older. This brush looks nice. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, I don't have touch screen options. It's throwing me off, man. Do I have touch screen options on this? Oh my god, I don't. This is my ancient drawing tablet, so it may take me a second to... I'm like touching my screen still after just explaining that touch screen doesn't work on this thing. Ay, ay, where do I want to start on this? I feel like I never start on the eyes, and I kind of want to start on the eyes. Eyes. So much snot in my nose. So much. Soup. Brush is too large. Is it too large? I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe we just start on the hair. Can I ever decide on what to start on? Nope. I usually hate it, so. I'm gonna have to mute a lot tonight because my nose is gonna be all kinds of messed up. I'm also endeavoring to not look down at my tablet the whole time. Maybe look at the screen a little bit, but let me look at my settings here. Let me actually check if this has touch controls, because I will probably use them if it does. It does not. Bummer. All right. I'm going to be fighting against that a lot. Okay. It's okay. We'll just take it a little slower than we might normally. Have a good time with it, you know? There is something that's very calming about line work that I enjoy. So if I'm having a rough day, I usually find just lining something to be easier. I was thinking about it because the current employer environment makes me scared. But I was like, what would I do if I just, you know, had to find a job immediately? And honestly, I'd probably take up some comic inking gigs if I could. I would try working on that. So I'd just be like, we'll ink comic for X. Because it's usually per page and you can vary your rates, so. It was something I wanted to do for a long time. I'm gonna turn the stabilization up a hair. Yeah. I want a different hotkey on my mouse. Keyboard. Meepa! Who meepad? Merlin, hello. Welcome. Thank you for the meepa. Keyboard. Wait, no, I want just undo. That's fine. There we go. I accidentally swatched the wrong thing. It didn't go off on your stream? I can only fix so many things today, Merlin. I'm sorry. I was just explaining that I fully... Oh my god. Every time. I gotta unbind that from the thing. I should bind that to eraser, actually. This is really good soup. This is the soup I explained how to make fighting a boss in Dark Souls yesterday. Thank you, Merlin. That was like step 1 in my stream overhaul. Alright. That's it. Shortcut keys. We need move and edit shortcut H, rotate, edit shortcut R. I'm just like, why? Why are you like this? I now have 2 drawing tablets on my desk. 3 if I move my iPad back. It's such overkill. Alright, let's have you be erase. You be undo. Alright. Well, Merlin, it's a perfect time to draw along with me. Join us. I can't decide. I can never decide how thick I want my line art to be. I feel like I tend to be on the heavy-handed side. Grinding Mog tomes. You don't have room on your desk. Oh no. If you don't have room on your desk, clearly it means you need to do what I did and completely reorganize your desk setup. And then inhale like an obscene amount of dust while you do it. I didn't mean to stick my tongue out while I was eating soup. I'm sorry. Draw from bed. That's got to be so bad for your back. Some people like exclusively work from tablets in their bed. I can't do it. I can't. Ooh. That's a nice curve we get there. I want it to be a little thicker, so a little more pressure. Nice. No! No! Edit, redo, edit, redo. My hotkeys. Fine. Why is E not eraser? What's going on? I thought I reset all my hotkeys to default because they were really messed up. You gotta retire some desk transformers. Time to go out to the farm with you. I'll turn that down a hair. Shortcuts. I'm like leaning over my tablet again. It's a very bad habit, but when I was in like the first grade, my teachers kept sending me to my parents to be like, your daughter needs glasses. She needs glasses. Her face is just always over the book. And I like would work with my face in the book when I wrote and stuff. But Like, you don't understand. You just got to get the angles. You got to get the angles right. And sometimes that means shoving your face in your notebook and trying to draw at point blank range. Bill, hello, welcome in. I'm just trying to adjust some settings. Shortcut settings. Eraser. Where are you, baby? Yeah, that just like deleted all the shortcuts. What the heck? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Oh, my eraser's very large. Welcome in. How are you doing this evening? We are just working on some art for the time when I eventually decide to play Soul Calibur 6 on stream. Eventually. It'll happen someday. Did I use a pencil? Oh, I'm using a pencil tool. Well, gotta set up a shortcut for that now, too. I thought I was inking with a pen tool, but nope. IT problems, ugh. I feel that. That's the worst. Not technically an IT problem, but I just redid all of my cable management on my desk. All of it. So much cable management. Because I got an under desk mount and it's like a hanging mount, but my desk only has, I think like 4 inches of overhang past the legs because it's a stand desk. It's like a big desk, but it's not that long. So I've been trying to figure out how to set that up. And Revold was helping me drill into the desk frame for that today. And I just kind of wanted to unwind a little bit. I mean, I was planning on drawing for today's stream since yesterday, but line work feels good. There we go. We can cap that edge off a little better. Eraser. Da, 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 da. Good soup. Soup heals the soul. I want to have some, swoop in this direction. I think maybe the tail of this curve is a little too. It goes up a little too soon. So we may have to go in, manually adjust it. I like the top part though. Yeah. Like, I kind of like the little, like, sweep here, but I think it's just, I'm tilting too far to the left. So we're going to have to break it and very carefully try not to make this stroke look like it's unnatural. And yeah, I know there's, like, cool ways to have your overlaps in your line work just get deleted through the eraser. But I find that because I can sometimes get very detailed in certain areas, it can delete strokes that I don't want deleted. So I tend not to use it. Maybe if we try to meet up with it, that's usually what works for me. I've been on a huge, I realized yesterday I was on I'd say like an isekai reading kick. And I still am, but I find myself really enjoying this genre of manhwa mostly. Some of it's manga, but it is like not Villainess Reborn. Like a lot of times they'll call it Villainess Reborn, but it's kind of just like Cinderella story revenge. I would call it Cinderella's Revenge is like the plot line, because it's always like a young noble woman abused by her family. It gets revenge in one way or another. And I always find that amusing. Because I think that's one of my favorite genres of isekai, is like sticking it to your family, and then the other one is being reborn in another world as a noble with lots of money and starting a business. Soup. Honestly, I really need to start monetizing my hobby of binge reading manga and manhwa and webcomics. Like, at the rate that I read them, I should probably like write reviews or something. Make some, some internet clout off of it. It might be helpful. Because the other thing too is like not a lot of people read like romance manga or like create content on stuff that's actively coming out. There's a bunch of video essayists that will do really great work on older series, but they're not really just reviewing what's coming out and kind of what they're seeing in the sphere. I think the most we get is Gart of Trash Taste constantly talking about isekai. Is it dead? Is it not dead? But I don't think it ever didn't live. It's always been there, What I find very interesting is that there's this huge broad term for the genre now, and you kind of lose some of the complexities of it. I think inherently, though, one of the huge struggles is that a lot of times when you read comics and manga, wow, speaking is hard, and web comics as well, the issue you run into is that they don't end. Unless they are like a serialized thing. Most of the times, it just gets dropped. So it's very rare to actually see a story to the end. So you kind of end up in this thing where you're like, I want to see what happens, but also I want to keep reading it. And that's how you get filler arcs and everything, but it's interesting how our industry does that. Like, people aren't necessarily rewarded in the comics industry for creating finished works. And I guess you wouldn't be for TV either. The longer you keep it going, the more you make a paycheck. But as far as like, it's interesting that it's the opposite of books. For books, you gotta finish the book to get an extension. So I guess that's why we have like sequel books and series and things like that. I suppose the definition between chapters and episodes and arcs in TV shows and manga is the equivalent to like different series of books. It's just that we're not used to it, to seeing it that way. This is a little askew, and that's going to bother me, but I'm going to try and ignore it. I'm going to try and ignore it. The patented eat with one hand, draw with the other. Why did I give myself such red eyes? I liked the contrast. I felt that the like orangey red contrasted with the design a lot. I liked it. Because I'm Mothman. You know, I mean, they originally started as orange for a contrast. But they pretty quickly became red just because, like, color theory-wise, a gold orange was a better contrast to the purple hair. But against an already, like, a peach pale skin tone, it wasn't a good contrast. So adding in red into the mix of the eyes when I ended up updating the character design meant that there was a higher like black and white contrast, dark and light contrast, which makes it more perceivable. Our Mothman. I stuck my foot down yesterday. YouTube chat came in and started calling me mommy. And I said, no. Don't you agree by now? I gave off reckless ant energy. Big sister energy. Come on. Moth father. Our moth father. That art in bulb light. So other than this, I have the sketch for the new rig that I want to work on. I created a 3D model with my rig's proportions so that I could do poses a lot easier. Because I really want to do a sitting model. So this is kind of what I'm hoping to look for the new rig. That's the sketch. Little teaser. I feel like I am too much of a perfectionist with line art, and this is why it takes me a long time. And not in the sense that I'm like, oh, I do that. I should just not let myself erase more. But I don't like having to clean up. I'd rather just have it, like, nice as I go along. Wow, I'm wondering if I should just go to the method I used to use, which is just to look at my screen instead of my tablet. I think it needs to go up from the tail, because that puts the weight at the right point. Yeah. How do I create drawings of insignificance? Insignificance. I just make it. Things that are not significant, I just make it. I just do stuff. Dat Dog, welcome back. How are you doing this evening? Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. We were just hanging out, working on some art. If you got a project or a craft or a hobby you want to work on, feel free to join in. I mean, like, insignificance. How do you determine what's insignificant? I think all art is important, but I guess if it's significant, it's something that it's something that's for others, I suppose. But to create something that's just for yourself and isn't going to be shared with others would probably be something insignificant. But even then, you could debate that. But maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. Were you asking, like, about a technical skill with art? I mean, I've been drawing in a semi-professional, I'm going to say professional. I've been drawing in a professional sense for at least, I don't know, 7 years now. I've been at it for a while. But I've never personally found... I've always struggled to find an art style to stick to. I changed my likes on the whim. Thank you for the congrats. Thank you very much. I mean, considering we started off last year I think under 300 on YouTube, that's great progress. Obviously, it's slowed down a lot since I'm not posting shorts every day, but okay. I think I understand. So, do you mean, like, how the face is the important part and the rest of the body kind of fades away? Is that what you mean? Because essentially this is a trick called foreshortening. That's what it's called in the art world. And essentially what you do is it's the principle that things that are closer to you or to the camera are bigger, literally larger. So for me, I find foreshortening on people extremely difficult to draw. I usually almost always need a reference for it. So that's part of the reason why I made a 3D model of my character, so that I can see it at the right angle. Hello? Hey, no problem. It takes a lot of hard work and progress. Generally, growing means that... Thank you.
Did you get mail today?
So generally growing a channel requires posting content very regularly. Most of my growth was from posting literally every day for like 2 months. And that slowed down after a little bit. So it's partially posting, partially luck, partially consistency, and definitely what you're posting. I always try to post things that always shared my original opinion on something or my thoughts. I was never a big fan of like reacting to other things. And I also find that if you're posting videos or content, personally, my preference for watching other people is when they kind of create their own story about the game that makes their experience unique. When I play Ghost Recon Wildlands, one of the main things I do is I enjoy creating a little story for my character and a mindset of how they're going to go through the world and how they're going to perceive things. And I like to share that. How do you get mod? YouTube wise, I don't think I'm looking for any mods right now. We're not that big on YouTube or anything. Good soup. You're trying to draw this inhuman character doing something kind of bizarre, but I want to treat it as unimportant in the drawing. And in the grand scheme, let me think about that. And it's the world that ultimately creates the character. So I think what you would want to do in that instance is work on composition. No mods, no gods. Hi, Rennet. Welcome in. I'm eating soup. It's good. So you'd probably be looking at composition, right? So say, one thing I always find helpful is when I am character drawing or I have an idea that I don't quite know how I want to draw, I draw out squares of what the final format's going to be. So say it's like a sheet of paper, it'll be like that. And then I'll do like a composition of, okay, say there's a mountain here and then a mountain here, and we have focal points going down. So that creates a focal point of the environment kind of swirling in towards here. And then you could do like, oh, I've got a big sword, and the sword breaks that gap of sky. And that helps create that. So use composition to your advantage. It can really tell a story, especially if you want to include an environment in it. Generally, I will warn. I will not warn, but I'll give an asterisk that it's my opinion that if you're posting content online, especially art content, character-focused art, so things with foreshortening and stuff like this, tends to look more impressive. Even if you might need more technical skill to, I'm having trouble finding where I need to be, to draw an environment. But don't not draw environments and backgrounds. It's equally as important. I will say being able to draw environments and backgrounds and perspective has gotten me jobs. So even if my art style is not consistent, my ability to draw things in perspective in a semi-realistic manner and knowing the fundamentals can get you jobs and gigs. But always be open to learning more and improving. Come on. Yeah, we're not hiring mods right now. Thank you though. Thank you for asking. Greg, hello. Good evening. How are you? We're doing some art. Been a while since we've done some art. Right? Even this Saturday? I might just do a knitting stream this Saturday. I might just knit. Because I cleared my desk and I got space. So we are currently drawing myself low-key cosplaying as Sophitia from Soul Calibur. Because I like Sophitia. I am a Sophitia enjoyer. And I want to use this as a thumbnail for my Soul Calibur 6 playthroughs if we play that on stream. And also I'm really proud of myself because it's one of the first times that I've done like character focused foreshortening decently well. And I was like, oh, I gotta finish this. It's certainly something I struggle with. And to be honest, I even had like a 3D model as a reference. I still had to fudge it. This whole front arm is just completely made up. And the legs I changed to be more dynamic, so. Honestly, it's a fake it till you make it thing. And the thing is, to me, this will always look really weird and wrong because I know that there's no waist drawn in here. The skirt just kind of hides it. Alright, the soup has been defeated. Good soup. When are we Soul Caliburing? I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'd probably say it's going to be like a week or two. Unless you really want to do it for a Ratter Day, you don't have to wait on me to finish this illustration. If you want to do it for a Ratter Day, just let me know at least like a day before. And I'll just change my stream time for Saturdays to Ratter Day time. We work on the rat's clock. Oh. Soul Calibur 6 tourney. Except I have no idea. Do you have to play through like the story for that game? I feel like I remember being stuck on cutscenes for a while, so I don't remember how important the story is for Soul Calibur 6. You can just go straight to multiplayer? Okay. But you unlock... Ah, okay. Be gone, bots. I don't know, apparently had 12 hours. Yeah, I have about 11 hours too. I think that was all character creation. So maybe we should make a rule that there's no custom characters. Otherwise, the whole stream is just going to be us making custom characters that we don't know how to play. We need the freak characters. No. I mean, I'm going to spend like hours. And also, I don't want to spend money on the DLC because I know there's like different customization, like battle sets behind DLC, and I don't feel like buying it. I broke it. But yeah, we're gonna be here for a good time, not a long time tonight. I'm sorry for starting late again. What else is new? I gotta get better at this. But I gotta go into the office at 5:45 a.m. Is Soul Calibur one of the all-time greats? I think it depends on who you ask. And it also depends on the title. I really like Soul Calibur 2. A lot of people like 4 that have been in chat. But I also haven't played... Despite me talking about Soul Calibur and doing Soul Calibur fan art, I haven't played all that much. I played a lot of Soul Calibur 2. Because that's what we had as kids. I think I'm hitting my raster size, which isn't great, but I'm not too worried about it. Am I drawing this at scale? I might be. Which is probably why I'm hitting some pixelation, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. Marlon's spending too much time in the Monster Hunter character creator. Yeah, I mean, I got into the beta for that and I was like, this is too much. Don't ask me how long I spend in Baldur's Gate creating my character for auto mode literally every single time. Second greatest game of all time. I mean, that's a very, it's subjective. It's very subjective, I feel like. I don't know if I could say any singular game is the greatest, but I think there are some games that are great. But that's also completely based on my own preferences for playing video games. Like, a lot of people really loved Animal Crossing New Horizons. I did not. I enjoyed it while I played it, but I found it to be a chore in the end. And I stopped playing it. That's not to say I won't ever play it again, but... You know? So replayability factor is a big thing for me. Do I like how that looks? I think it needs to pull in a little more. Yeah, that's better. I'm not 100% on this edge of hair, and I'm going to hate myself when I try to make it color later, but whatever. Whatever. We're doing high effort thumbnails again. Nintendo flagships and GTAs. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what your metric for the greatest is. And most of those lists are made by video gaming companies, so they're probably going off of sales data, which marketing is going to have a lot to do with it. And that's something that AAA companies can pay a lot for. I just heard you drink. Ignore my redeem. Oh. I'll do it again. I've got some passion fruit orange juice and water. Because I inhaled an obscene amount of dust. Also, I don't think the thing's working. Let me see. Is the connection broken here? Because it's not doing the thingy thing. It's not feeding me a water bottle. Try it again. Also, where are my point redeems? They changed the UI and now I can't find anything. So I have a thing that if you redeem point rewards on Twitch, it'll pop up with a little water bottle for me to drink for the hydrate thing. Let's see. And for some reason, Twitch isn't showing it up. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. Let's see if it works. I think I fixed it. I think it was just an authentication thing. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it is authentication. It's probably authentication. Yeah. That's why. The auth is broken. Let's see. I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. Yeah. That's it. I just drink water. Also the head pets, so that should work now too. Yeah, I guess my Twitch authentication broke. The application I use is called Mix It Up. And it decided that it did not want to connect Twitch. Which is the service it uses. How are your lines perfect? Hello. Well, we've been streaming for... How are my lines perfect? Well, we have been streaming for a total of 55 minutes. This is how much I've gotten done. So they're not perfect, but I have a lot of experience, so I have a pretty steady hand. I have a tablet with a screen on it that I am used to using for the most part. It's slightly different because I haven't used this one in a while, but that. And also I have stabilization on 22 and my left hand is on control undo. So a lot of confidence and practice, and what I like to do is I rotate my canvas in a way that feels more natural to do the curve, and I overshoot it. So instead of just trying to do like that, I'll do the full that, so that the weight of my weight of my line for my pressure on my hand matches a little bit better with what I'm trying to fill in. And then I erase the overlap. to the best of my ability. Yeah. So don't be afraid to go over and then clean up later. Line work is also one of those things that practice really, really helps with. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I've done like traditional inks for stuff before. But I get lost in the sauce really easy. Generally, I find like doing short strokes can help in a pinch, but being really careful to try and get it done in one stroke is helpful. Because if I try to do a curve like this and I keep doing this, eventually you'll notice there's a point right here that keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And even if I try to like erase it down, it's going to be like a focal point. So trying to get it in one smooth curve is helpful, but it makes it take a lot longer. Welcome in, Tally. How are you doing this evening? I hope you're having a good evening. Congratulations on surviving till Tuesday. Confidence, I say as I erase it 5 times. Also, I'm not married to my sketch. TPC complains all the time, my Twitch mod, that your art always changes when you do the line work. And I think that that's a natural expectation. But I don't know how I feel about that edge. I think it's fine. I'm being too precious about it. Actually, I want that to kind of create both parts of the line. I'm also making sure that, so one thing I like to try and keep in mind when I do, especially like these points like this for hair, I try to make sure that there's enough actual fill to make sense, because if I have one long line that's just like that for the hair, all you're gonna see is the line art and you're never gonna see the hair color. Let's do this the other way around. Yeah, that's better. I feel like if you rotate your canvas, you will literally do the lines and they'll just feel right. I mean, and it even helps if you're doing it traditionally, to rotate your page or whatever you're drawing on, if you can. I've changed the format of this now, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think we will adjust this a little bit. We'll try and redo that curve. And if I am going to go back and erase an edge to redo it in a smaller section, I always try to taper what I'm joining into so that it doesn't thicken up too much. So it should just sort of like line up a little bit. We got a little bit of a thick edge there. I might try to go over it again. Just to even it out. Not perfect, but I expect that this is going to be a high contrast area with lights and darks, so I'm just going to try and keep it as clean as I can. I think I want this to just cut off there. Do I want it to cut off there? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we'll crop. Yeah. I'm overthinking it anyway. Whoop. Wrong tool. There we go. There's going to be like a little bit of a tangent down there. How do I figure out drawing with a specific art style? Well, that's a tough question because I don't feel like I have. I personally found that developing my own art style is a lot of trial and error. And also, you know, I reference artists that I like. So if there is a technique or something that I want to try, I will go out of my way to try it. So generally my art style, I usually don't do like super flippy hair like this. This is something that I normally don't do. But I've always been someone that enjoys like more complicated line work. So I guess I've kind of just gone out of my way to try it. But still incorporate some elements. So usually if I'm having trouble like art style wise, I try to incorporate one technique that I find. And I'll try it out in like a smaller drawing or a sketch. And then I'll see if it works and if I like it. And then I'll continue incorporating that technique. Accurate anatomy. So I have gone through like school for art. So I have taken life drawing classes and studied anatomy and stuff like that. So that is very important. And I would recommend it whenever you can. Just to get a basic understanding, especially where bones are in the human body. So if you can't go to a life drawing class, I would say see if you can go and start practicing drawing skeletons and counting the bones and making sure they're in the right place with the right proportions, you know. Not all bones look like the fake bones you give dogs, like dinner bones. So like this is a femur, which goes in the thigh, which connects to the kneecap, which connects to your other leg bones, which I don't think is that's the arm bones. Yeah, art today. Hello, welcome in. So practice is important. Otherwise, for illustrations, especially with an illustration like this, where there's a lot of foreshortening, so the camera is closer to the face than it is the rest of the body. So the rest of the body looks smaller in comparison. What I do is I set up a 3D model. I set up a 3D model, which is like very try-hardy, but it helps me a lot, and it's helped me be more consistent in my art style. Especially when I'm drawing myself and the character to look the same. So a big thing I do is I have a 3D model. I can show you, this is going to be an upcoming live 2D rig that I want to work on. But it starts with a 3D model like this. And I can set it up in a pose. And it's not necessarily a realistically proportioned human by any means. But it's kind of closer and more consistent because I can struggle with this bust area being inconsistent sizes in relation to the head and the shoulders. So setting up tools for yourself is helpful, especially if you're drawing the same character a lot. I find that that's important. Yeah. I mean, you can even see like what you're seeing on screen right now, moving and talking to you, is slightly different in style than this illustration. But I try to make sure that the proportions are the same. So where I used to think, if you're drawing a character, it has to look exactly the same every time you draw them. Not necessarily. One important thing with character design, and I think a thing that helps me develop art style is kind of determining what elements I want to stick out. So on this character, a big thing is the swoops, the hair swoops, the M. And that is probably the most important thing. So making sure that that's visible in the design is something that I like to make sure. And it's a part of the silhouette that stands out. So the hair is always a little spiky and wider on the top. And then the bust is always large. And I also try to incorporate some sort of across the neck design. I've actually toyed around with incorporating the like left diagonal that you see on my chest right now that's like holding up the cape shoulder pad in other designs. So you can actually see that on the maid outfit and in the new design as well. It has the same kind of angle to it. So having those repetitive themes can help in making your character look the same, and have just like a quick reference for what elements need to be added. So yeah, so even if the hairstyle is technically different, I have at least the front part of the hair similar in silhouette and the floofy part in the front similar. And then the proportion of how big the eyes are to the nose and the mouth is also similar. So that's kind of my attack at it, at trying to get the art style the same, even if I'm trying something new or changing something up. But it's not always consistent. Which is a struggle for me. But just even if you struggle with that, I don't think you should not do art. I think it's more important than ever to keep trying and finding what you like to draw and what you enjoy. Because if you find what you enjoy drawing and you keep drawing it and finding out how to incorporate those elements into your drawings, you'll get better. And that's kind of how you develop a style too, is you just keep drawing, and eventually everything you make through all of your drawings starts to look a little similar. And not that it's the same, but people will recognize things you've drawn. So like when I was in classes and we'd had critiques for art, you could always look at someone's work, and if you'd been in class with them for a while, you could look at someone's work and say, oh, this is this person's, this is this person's, this is this person's. And you'd be able to know just based on seeing what they drew, because they all had certain things that they like to do and techniques that they went back to. And in fact, we've certainly had instances where we've certainly had an instance where certain people came into class and their art style is suddenly completely different. And they didn't make any comment about like, oh, I wanted to try something new, or I want to do this. And we just went, you can't. Yeah, you didn't draw that. And it turned out to be true. They had their parent draw it. And I was like, we wouldn't have judged you if you just did it yourself, you know? Staying motivated. I find motivation is very hard, especially if you work in the arts as a career. I think the thing to understand about deciding whether or not you want to work in the arts as a career is how much are you willing to deal with this when you don't want to. I certainly have days where we haven't done a drawing stream in a while because I do a lot of creative work for my job, and there are certainly days where I'm too burnt out to do it. And when you don't have a full-time job in the arts, which can be hard to come by, it can kind of be a luxury to have that time. A lot of times all you're doing is working. And then you also have to be good about talking about your work and being confident in your work. So you need to be able to explain I mean, this is probably underrated skill for working in the visual arts, is being able to explain what you did and why, and being able to understand what other people want and how to translate that into a visual medium. Those are like the key skills, I would say. Anything, even, it doesn't matter if you're an illustrator, a graphic designer, an animator, all this stuff. You have to be able to talk art and figure out how to translate that language of this concept of something that doesn't exist in the physical world. It could be an imaginary topic, something like psychology or something like that. And you have to find out images for it. So like one of the things I worked on was, it was a logo for a database. And I was like, what can I even use to visually represent this? And we ended up finding something in the end, but it was a lot of trial and error of talking to this client and figuring out, okay, what do they use on a day-to-day basis? What kind of symbols does that mean? Even if it's not literally like numbers and letters of data. So being able to talk about art is important. So that's why everybody's like, why do I have to write essays in art school and take art history? I just want to make pretty things. And I'm like, being able to talk about art means that you're going to be able to get clients. And is really important, understanding the why. I think that's an underrated skill that people don't talk about enough. And obviously having good technical skill is important, but being engaged and excited to stay up to date with things. So I went out of my way to learn Live 2D and make a VTuber, and I'm learning motion graphics, which I'm still not the best at, but I'm learning. But also understanding that it's hard. I don't think I would recommend going to college for visual arts at this time. At least not probably illustration. I would say if you can, like, take classes in like a community college setting for, the basics of life drawing, technical skills like that, and then find projects for yourself to do. So say you want to illustrate character designs for your favorite book, or you want to animate funny memes or something. Doing that kind of work and posting it on your social media and sharing it with the world, and also explaining how you do it is going to be really important for staying consistent and staying and finding work and even getting scholarships and stuff for school. But I do feel that a lot of college institutions that are teaching the arts are not setting up people correctly to succeed. And a lot of your success is also going to be entirely based on the economy and your personal motivation. So like, how much are you willing to flex what you do for your job? How can you take the skills that you learn to talk about in art and say like, okay, this isn't necessarily the character design job I wanted, but how can I take the skills that I have and get this other job that may not be as cool? Because there are also plenty of like corporate art jobs, plenty of them. So it's a tough position, because there's definitely always people that are like, oh, it's a privilege to work in art and you just get to do what you love every day. Yeah, you're probably going to like your job, but it's still a job, and there's still like stressful things about it, And one thing that I've found could be stressful for people is the fact that a lot of times when you work in the creative field, people don't understand the time frame it takes for something, and they always want it faster, cheaper, better. Faster, cheaper, better. And that's going to be something you always want. So you have to be comfortable with telling people no or being on a deadline. You got to get used to it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. Yeah, so that's kind of my cynical, not cynical take on working in the arts. It's a very scary field. But I also think if you can find a career path that is adjacent or that will give you the time to pursue that outside of school, that, you know, if you can find something that pays the bills in the meantime while you build up your portfolio and try to find a good opportunity to get a foothold in, I think that's perfectly acceptable. There are plenty of artists who got their start working retail jobs and they spent a long time doing that. I think we have this expectation, especially for art students and art school, that you're going to come out of college and you're going to work at a design firm and it's going to be amazing. And you're going to be creative every single day. When in reality, a lot of times you're just waiting for an opportunity to open up, because it is a specialized field and you have to find something that that works for you. I mean, my command position is kind of specialized, so it's like you end up needing to wait for the right moment. And when you find those kinds of jobs, you hold on to them generally. That's not to say you should stay in any kind of work environment that's not good for you. If it is a toxic environment, which it can often happen in the arts, because again, people don't understand the time frame, or management comes in and wants something. It happens all over in all kinds of jobs, but especially the arts, it burns because everybody's like, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to work your job. I'm like, okay, go enjoy the privilege. Go make this document that you want. Thank you. And then everybody's like, oh, okay. So I'm a curmudgeon-y old man who just wants to sit at my desk and do my job and listen to my D&D podcasts. I gotta listen to my shows while I work. And this curmudgeon-y old man just tries to get stuff done. But the main things would be learn to talk about art and learn to communicate what you're doing and why you're doing it. And learn how your skills overlap to other positions, because people often think that they need to look for a specific job when really they should be seeing how their skills apply to a job, and that will give you more opportunities to find work. That's why game companies get away with paying so much less and treating their employees so much worse. Other than software companies, you're supposed to be grateful to get to work in games. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Even in creative fields where you're working on a whole team with other artists, there's always going to be some schmuck in a suit somewhere that says, do we really need this art team that's making everything for us? Yeah. You would not believe how many people are desperately trying to not work with me at my job because they think that they can just do it themselves or have AI do it. And let me tell you, the things they make are not good and don't serve the purpose they need. So, and I can give the words to that because they're like, something's not right about this. And I usually tell them, well, you need this, this, and this. And, well, I can set that up for you because you clearly couldn't. Hey, Ozymandias, welcome in. Oh, yeah, don't get me started. I desperately wish that I could be in a union. That would be lovely. I wish there was more creative unions out there. But people would rather have their company burned to the ground and have PowerPoint assets used for their marketing than pay artists fairly. Oh, we'd rather lose thousands of dollars by steamrolling our marketing department. But yeah, Merlin's got the gist. That's also part of the reason why I didn't want to work in games anymore. The combination of, I used to want to work in game design as an artist, and that was like really one of my goals. And the combination of like the attitudes I saw from other people that worked in the industry towards the artists that were like, it's a double privilege to work in game design as an artist. And I was like, I'm dying. I hate it here. So yeah, there's that. But I mean, I do still personally I like working corporate jobs for art. It may not be as creatively fulfilling, but it pays the bills and it gives me time to do art that I like and that I like to do. And I think one thing is also important as well. There will be a lot of people out there that are like, you got to start taking commissions. You got to work for other people. I think taking independent commissions on things like VGen, is an amazing asset to me, especially when I don't have the time to do something and I need to work with someone else. If you're trying to develop your portfolio, you want to be careful about how many commissions you take, because eventually you will just be commissions and it may limit you to just that field that you're in. Whereas creating a portfolio that shows off your skills that you're passionate about could be a better use of your time, because it could land you a better paying job. So sometimes commissions, you can't even show other people due to an NDA, or it's not applicable to other jobs. Whereas if it's something you create for yourself, you can always put that in your portfolio. I didn't explain that super great, but I hope it made sense. I'm going to try and thicken up this corner. Hard to work when your entire portfolio is anime character feet. Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to find work when your entire portfolio is one of anything, but it can also get you those niche jobs that are like, they need one specific person that's good at this. Yeah. Honestly, I shouldn't change. I have a big project that I'm working on right now that's like a multi-month project, and it's very tedious. It's a lot of black and white drawings, and I'm like, maybe I should just draw them by hand. But then I remember that the tools I have at work are not at all the same. We are not the same. I have better tools at home, and I cannot overlap them. No sharing allowed. But hey, there's always opportunities. Yeah. Da, 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 da. I like this the little swoop on the side. It's cute. Da, 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 da. Man, I really wish I could like play the music I would normally listen to while I'm working, because we would be jamming out so hard right now. But YouTube says no and Twitch says no, and now I'm sad. I wish they would just pay for the broadcasting licenses, you know? Let me listen to the good musics. I want to listen to my heavy metal and my... Oh man, I had a playlist that's been my go-to, although it's kind of changed because I listened to too much of one part of it. But it was an 80s playlist on Spotify. And it was literally like heavy metal, classic metal, like, what's it called? Thrash metal. It was like Danzig, Blue Oyster Cult, Dio, Judas Priest intermixed like every other song with Japanese city pop. And it was such a vibe. It was so hype. Oh, that was my work playlist for a long time, but I listened to too much city pop because it's too good. And I lost some of the Danzigingness. So maybe I need to manually make that playlist because it was really good. Am I your man? I need to know. Thank you, thank you. I have a liquid here, which I need to refill, so I may hop up in a second and refill it. I thirst. I will, I'll give you a free hydrate redeem since I don't think I have that set up for YouTube. Thank you for the reminder. But thank you for hanging out and coming to the stream and chatting. Always fun to chat with people on YouTube and Twitch. Welcome in. There we go. We got a slurp slurp. Perfect. I'm sorry. I just opened Discord and I saw a meme and I'm cackling. It's not even, I mean, it's pretty good. We're in a rare situation where Passover, Easter, Ramadan, and Thatcher's death anniversary all overlap. A blessed day to all celebrate. And beneath it is the Pillsbury Doughboy. And it says, he is risen, happy Easter. He is not, happy Passover. And it's a Pillsbury holla. He is off limits until sundown. Happy Ramadan. She will never rise again. Happy Margaret Thatcher. I gotta stop looking at the meme channel during stream. I'm reposting that. It's a good one. It's going in the meme channel on the Discord. Rogue's watching. You already have a second monitor. What about second monitor? What about third monitor? We've got 3 monitors on my desk right now. I could make it 4 if I wanted to. 4 plus buttons. Where were we? Drawing. Yes, indeed. Okay, remind me, hashtag 1 month. Never buy Allegra again. It's bad. I got like 12-hour Allegra because I constantly have allergy problems. And our house is old. There's dust. We got a dust and a cat. So I normally get Claritin, but I got Allegra, and they only let you buy one kind at once of the behind-the-counter stuff, which is the only like sinus medication that actually works. Because it's apparently a controlled substance or something. I don't know. But they only let you buy one box. Regardless. And I was pretty frustrated because I was like, I don't even know if this is going to work for me. And I got it. And it's not, like, it works a little bit, but I feel like I get more head congestion than anything with Allegra, whereas Claritin, like, clears that shit out. So there's a non-zero chance that I die tomorrow with a migraine at 5 a.m. Non-zero. I've got ground beef in the fridge. What should I make for Din Din tomorrow? You can make... I don't have tomatoes! Time how long it takes for me to actually buy tomatoes. Because I will keep forgetting. I keep being like, oh, I should make chili. Oh, I don't have tomatoes. Oh, I should make curry. Oh, I don't have tomatoes. The cardinal sin, forgetting the tomatoes. I think I want this to be more of a sharp edge, so I'm gonna let it ride. Yeah. And then... Oh, that's a tangent that I don't like, though. We'll move it down a little. Yeah. So another thing, if you struggle with line work and you feel like it just doesn't look quite right, one thing to avoid, not avoid, but use carefully, is a thing called tangents. So in this instance... If I had left this line in place here and had it connect, it would connect to this, and this whole area right here would be a focal point. But if I've moved this over so that they don't connect, or had them overlap so it was up here, it was farther across, that removes that focal point. So even this is kind of like a little bit too much of a tangent, but I'm hoping that the line weight is enough to handle it. Because you can't always avoid them, but it's good to be conscious of when you are using them. It's a little thick. I'll just do a full line through. Yeah, because even just having this cross through makes that look a little nicer. And we're just going to erase the overlap. Do, 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 do. And honestly, I'm probably drawing on a little bit too small of a canvas for what I should. If I was going to be printing this, I would want to draw this at a bigger scale, because ideally I shouldn't be seeing any pixels in my line work. It pixelates a little bit, but this is ultimately only going to be for a thumbnail image. Arguably, if I'm spending this much time on the illustration, I should just scale it up anyway. But I'm being lazy. That's my prerogative, because this is not for someone else. But I would always recommend making your art larger if you can. The downside is it does take more processing from your computer or whatever you're drawing on. So I know that if you use an iPad, there's a lot of limitations on the scale you can draw. Also, shout outs to previous me, for actually drawing out the braid a little bit. I love braids, and I love drawing braids, but I hate drawing braids. I love the concept of a braid, but I hate actually drawing the braids. I'm trying to figure out what to work on next. And I mean, if I was being... I'm always torn, because I feel like I always want to do like thicker line work than I have. You can even see here, like, my line work's way thicker in my sketch. But I really want to try and do like maybe a watercolory style of rendering for this. And I feel like I need thinner line art for that. I feel like I want thinner line art for that. So we're going to give it a go. I might ruin this by coloring it. We'll see. Ain't that the truth? But it's also good to know when you're doing art, there's always a stage where it just looks terrifying and horrible. It happens to everyone. Oh yes, this is the nightmare stage. Don't worry. It's like when you go through puberty. And everybody's ugly. I'm kidding. Puberty does not make anybody ugly. Everybody gets acne, even adults from time to time. Everybody goes through changes, and maybe your voice cracks, maybe it doesn't. I'm a grown adult and my voice still cracks, and I still lose my voice, and sometimes I sound like I'm about to go wrestle a man on WWE. I go full Zangief on him. Hello. I don't think I can go full Zangief on him right now. Too congested. Oh. I can't do my Batman voice. Da, 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 da. Sleepy. Wait, did I lock this? No, I didn't. I gotta scooch over. There we go. I'm happy I still have my drawing mode set up. Because the little pen, it moves when I move my mouse. I almost didn't save it because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use it again, but I really like it. This was an asset I had paid for, I think on Etsy. And I was like, I think I can color correct it so that it matches my skin tone. And you can. So I'm very happy with a lot of the changes they've added to VTube Studio about being able to color change your art mesh layers. So I can color change my model a little bit. Yeah. There's a tangent there. I don't even know if I like that. I guess I do like it because this is there. I would have erased it because I was being picky about the hair earlier. Why do I feel like this has gotten thinner? I don't know. Oh, my back. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, man. I slept in today, too. Oh. Getting old is just being tired all the time. Forever sleepy. I will say I will need some help deciding what my gremlin mode outfit is going to be on the new rig. I need like a lazy, sloppy pajama outfit. And no, it can't just be a trash bag. That's uncreative. All right. Let's clean up the overlap. Also, as far as line work goes, I personally really recommend reading comics. I really recommend reading comics, and maybe I'm biased because I am a huge manga fan. But finding comics that have a large variety in how they do line work, especially just black and white comics, is important. I think if anything, my one slight critique for web comics, especially manhwa, is that a lot of times their line work is very similar and doesn't have a lot of variety or distinction to it. And that's usually because they're on very fast deadlines. So they have to kind of standardize a little bit. Edgar, hello. What are you drawing? Today we are drawing myself as Sophia from the Soul Calibur franchise. So this is the full sketch. Ta-da! Yeah. Don't mind the gazongas. So we're just talking about art and chilling. It's a very low-key stream today. Normally we hang out, we play some Elden Ring, play some video games, but I've been missing doing some just art streams every now and then. Raging, hello, what's up? What is up? Good evening. How are you? I hope things are going well. What time is it? 8:30. I may extend past. I was only going to do a 2-hour stream today, but I started super late. I may push it to like 8:45. They are what? What program am I using? I am currently using Clip Studio Paint. Some may know it, depending, I don't know. Is it still called Manga Studio? But this is Clip Studio Paint. I actually crop out all of the background environment stuff. So you're seeing a zoom in of the screen. Whee! My Clip Studio trial runs out soon eventually. Happy birthday, Raging. Congratulations on being an old man. I would recommend Clip Studio for illustrations. I think my one warning I give for Clip Studio is I would say make sure you still learn Photoshop, because in a lot of professional settings you're forced to use Photoshop. But Clip Studio does, as of now, still have one-time purchases for desktop computer. And then they also have a lot of power. It's a very powerful program which has a lot of community support, but it can be very overwhelming, which is why I crop out the screens, because oh my god, there's like a million windows and symbols and everything. It's like if you've ever tried to open Blender, that's what it feels like. It's very, very overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking at. You're telling me my paint shop? I mean, they probably are. I was considering harassing my workplace into using Affinity because Adobe sucks. But I've been using Affinity independently. I no longer use Adobe at all independently, like outside of work. And Affinity Photo is confusing. Like, there's some transferable. I would say if you use Paint Tool Psi, the transition to Clip Studio is probably going to be easier. Like if you've used Plain Tool Sai or Medibang, maybe even Ibis Paint, I think the transition to Clip Studio is going to be a little easier. But if you're coming from Photoshop, Clip Studio is going to be a little overwhelming. Affinity is just confusing overall. Oh yeah, we say fuck Adobe here. That's fine. Still GIMP? I mean, I think GIMP is good for what it is. I think there are some issues with its color engine and its rendering ability. But for a free option, it's not bad. I just think there are better free options out there, you know, for illustration at least. For certain things, GIMP is very good. But hey, Scorpio, welcome in. Good evening. GIMP feels like that. I would say Affinity falls in line with GIMP. It does also feel like arguing with a French waiter. Like, hey, I think this button does this. No, we don't have that here. Oh, then what's this? Oh no, it's called this. It does this, and it's the exact thing you need, and you don't know why it's called that or what it uses. It's like they're just trying to be special. No, we do not have. We don't serve that here. We only serve exact same thing. I'm sorry. We do not serve layers here. We have masks. Oh, you mean masks to like mask out something? No. No, they go on top of the previous layer like a mask. I mean mask. Oh, can I change my human saturation? No. The chroma. It's only the chroma. Chroma settings. Merlin, that was the best example of my frustrations with Affinity. Sounds like making fun of French people, and I'm here for it. I mean, listen, it's the English blood. I can't not. I'm too English to not, okay? I'm English and American. We make fun of the French Canadians and we make fun of the French, and that's what we do here. Québécois. Except actually the only language I took in school was French. So, but most of the English speak French, you know? It's like a sibling rivalry. I'm at the point though, I gotta keep up my my Japanese learning. I don't know why I said it. I need to keep up my Nihongo Jozu. Just because I was actually getting somewhere with it, and I can recall most of my hiragana. My katakana is still pretty crappy. My kanji is non-existent, so maybe we're not getting anywhere. But I tried. Eto? What is kanji? Kanji is a weakness. But I have been enjoying, because I've been listening to so much city pop, I've gotten to the point that when I listen to city pop songs, my brain starts translating it. And I can kind of understand what they're singing about now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to learn Japanese through city pop. No, I'm not taking classes. I have Lingo Deer, the like lifetime subscription, because they do like, I think it's like $130 or something I got it for, but they do like a lifetime subscription to the Lingo Deer service. And they have a pretty good Japanese program. I've actually, like, sometimes it can be confusing, but if you go through and you read all the information that is available, you will, they kind of force you to learn things before telling you why it is or what you are learning, you know? So they're like, okay, here's some kanji thrown in, and you're like, what? Nani? Nani kore? I don't know what this is. Magnetized aishiteru. Aishite, 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 moto moto. But yeah, I personally, I did the Duolingo, and I did not have a good time learning hiragana or kanji on Duolingo. I personally found that the Lingo Deer's method for teaching it makes a lot more sense, because you're learning the hiragana and katakana while you are also learning the grammar, like basic grammar. So you learn like, あの人は学人ですか? So that would be, is that person a student? I think it's probably not great. これは, so これ is sore and kore. Oh god, I gotta read. This is what I was on. Is the difference between sore, kore, and are? No. Shit. So am I going to Nihon? Hopefully, maybe. It's gonna depend on if we can afford it. I'm trying to put money into savings, but a lot of it's been going towards repairs to where we live and stuff. And with the fact that I'm gonna have to be going into work, which takes a lot longer, that may put some stilts on it. But I've got some friends making a plan to go in 2026. So I'd like to go. Currently though, the discussion is like, I think some of my friends want to go sightseeing to a lot of areas, and I'm like, listen, I got a long life to live, and I do not want to do the whole, let's spend half of our time traveling to a new location thing. Like, I don't want to go to Tokyo. If anything, I want to go to Osaka and Kobe, and I want to go to Takarazuka Theater. I really want to see Takarazuka, actually. That's like if I go to Japan, I want to see Takarazuka. And if we can, sumo, when it's in Osaka. I could still ride the cool train, because that's the thing. If I go to Osaka, I probably am going to go to Kyoto. Yeah. Because Osaka and Kyoto are next to each other. Kyoto and Tokyo are not next to each other. I feel like American tourists saying, oh my god, let's go to Kyoto and Tokyo is kind of like when tourists to America say, oh my god, let's rent a car and go to from Los Angeles to Vegas or something like that. Wait, is that it? Or the Grand Canyon? I don't know. There's one road trip that's out west that everybody's like, oh, I always thought it was going to be quick, but it's like a 2-day trip. But no, I really want to go to Osaka. If personally, I really want to go to Osaka, Kyoto, and Hokkaido, and Onikawa. Why does that sound wrong when I... The island where the American Onikawa? What? That doesn't sound right. Why does that not sound right? I don't think I've ever said that word out loud. Okinawa. That's why I'm saying it wrong. Okinawa. You're right. I'm like, something's wrong. Panic. Okinawa. Onikawa. Yeah, I think that's like my bucket list of Japan trips. Osaka is definitely my first one though, because Takarazuka. Also, apparently Osaka has really, really good food. Because the thing is, as far as Tokyo goes, I don't know what I particularly care about in Tokyo. Like, yeah, there's Tokyo and the trains. And like, yeah, there's Akihabara and there's like the fashion. But other than that, like, as far as like anime goods goes for weebs, I'm not big on purchasing a ton of anime stuff. If there's any event that I'd want to go to in Tokyo, it would be the there's a big, I know, Emirichu did a video on it. There's a big like stationery and arts festival that's at the place where they do Comiket, the convention center, and I would want to go to that. Stationery supplies. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like Akihabara is kind of overrated. Like, it's people watching, you know? We love animation. Yeah. And also, I feel like I'd have a better chance of getting to like a character cafe in Osaka rather than Tokyo. And maybe better made cafes in Osaka. Because I do want to go to a maid cafe. I want to go to a maid cafe. I want them to bless my omurice. Do 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 do. I enjoyed Kyoto more when I went. Pros and cons to both. That's what I'm hearing, though. Everybody that's gone to Kyoto and Tokyo has said they enjoyed Kyoto more. Like, I feel like Tokyo is great if you live there or you're going to be spending time there. But, like, actual tourist attractions, unless you really want to do the whole, like... What's that one thing where there's, like, the flashing lights? I feel like it's... Going to Tokyo on an international trip to me feels like people that come to America and go to New York and don't have anything in mind to see. So they just end up doing like super touristy stuff. And it's okay to do super touristy stuff, but I'd rather see like cultural heritage sites and historically important stuff if that's the case. You know? Aqwah is sounding like me when I went to London. Yeah. Like, for once in my life, as an adult going on a trip, I would like my trip overseas to be introvert friendly. Thank you. I don't, like, every time I've gone on like a big trip, it has always been with people that are super extroverted. They have a whole itinerary and all this shit that they want to do. And like, go to things, socialize with people, go to like events where they're socializing. And I'm like, no, I just want to be able to like experience it, you know, soak it in. I just want to observe for a little bit. I don't need to like participate. This is not an active participation test. Half itinerary, half free time. Oh no, I think it's like one itinerary thing per day and like maybe one major thing every other day. That's the pace that I like. I mean, raging. You met me at PAX. Half the time I was like, guys, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. I gotta go. I'm gonna go play Mario Kart in my hotel room. And it was great. Let me tell you, my favorite part about PAX, because I didn't go last year, my favorite part about PAX 2 years ago was getting home from the hotel, getting a box of insomnia cookies at like 10 o'clock at night from down the street and eating warm cookies and milk in bed next to my husband and playing Mahjong Soul against Lucha, who was just at home. He didn't even go to PAX. We were just hanging out in a Discord call playing Mahjong. I was like, this is great. And it was me reveled in Lucha playing Mahjong. That's what I want. Although I do have my travel Mahjong set, which is like little tiny baby tiles that are less than a centimeter big in a Hello Kitty case that I can now take. But the problem is I can only play with sweaty Mahjong players because it doesn't have the English like number equivalents on it. It doesn't have the English numbers. So, I mean, you can kind of figure out the balls and bamboo through looking at them, obviously, but the characters really throw people off. Oh yeah, I also really want to go to local cafes. I think Reveled and I this weekend are probably going to drive 30 minutes to try to go to a local coffee roaster because we're coffee snobs. I'm more coffee snobby than Reveled. I'm just like, it's gotta be good. I actually, we had a La Colombe subscription and I actually had Reveled cancel it because I was like, it's not good. We're paying for quote unquote specialty coffee and it's not good. There's a local brand that's cheaper and better. And that's my hot take is La Colombe, when I was in school, was not a national brand, but they were bought by the owners of Chobani shortly after I graduated college, I believe. And they took over the company and they still for a while did a lot of the same roasts and stuff and same sourcing. But they took over the company and started selling to like Whole Foods and other stores, and like now they're in Walmart and everything, and they're one of the like major pre-packaged coffee brands. But the quality of their coffee, even for their mail subscription coffee service, has gotten a lot worse. So I'm just like, no, it's not worth it. It just all tastes burnt. Konbinis are a life changer. I mean, yes, I want to try the konbini food. I do, mainly because I'm just very excited by the fact that there will be healthy food at a konbini. Because I grew up, I didn't live near any convenience stores or anything like that. That was not a thing for me. And then as I got older, I lived near them and I spent way too much money at convenience stores. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, It's not worth it unless it's kind of healthy. I probably won't get it. So getting a reasonably healthy meal at a konbini sounds amazing. Or fresh bread. Bread. Ooh, maybe I should pick up some pastries if we're going to that coffee place. But if we're going to the coffee place, maybe we're just going to get food there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this piece of hair here. It's having feelings. Guys, we've gotten so much done. Sarcasm. We've drawn lines. Nom, 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 nom. All right. Do I want that to connect up? I don't know. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to get rid of that little side piece there. I like how there was like 2 weeks of hope that the 7-Elevens in the United States would actually like start offering better food, but that does not seem to have been implemented because there's too many independently owned ones. They're like, why would we serve healthy food when we could just like serve super old sweaty hot dogs? Not that there's not a place for old sweaty hot dogs, but they're too expensive. Also, I'm going to complain about this until the cows come home, but I pay for a grocery delivery service. Oh, I mean, that's true in every way, but I pay for a grocery delivery service because I don't get a lot of free time with my millions of hobbies and streaming and work. And I would like to utilize the free time I have to the best of my ability. Also, I get really distracted in grocery stores and overwhelmed with anxiety and stress. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can get a delivery service that's not through like Instacart or something, that's from the store that does it. And I did. I found one that's through the store. The store employees are the ones that they have their own van that's from the store that does the delivery. And I'm like, yes, I like this. And so far, I've gotten like 6 or 7 delivery orders, and it's been great. It's been fantastic so far. I love it. It is worth every penny I pay for it. It is worth it. But it's like a yearly subscription, a la Amazon Prime. And it comes with some other stuff. And one of the things it comes with is a discount to Burger King. A burger royalty discount. And it's, I think it's like 25% off. And I was excited because I was like, oh yeah, it's a free Whopper every 3 months or something, or every month, something like that. I think it was like 3 months. It wasn't really good, but it was like 25% off, and I didn't have to pay anything extra on it. It was like, if you have the subscription, you get this. I was like, oh, great. And then I went to go use it, and the Burger King app only lets you use 1 coupon at a time. And apparently that 25% off counts as a coupon. So I was like, this is worthless. There's literally a BOGO coupon that is better than this coupon. This is worthless. So I complained. I was like, listen, if you're going to offer this discount, it shouldn't, as like a partnership, it shouldn't be at a detriment to people using other coupons, because I would actively eat more Burger King if it was actually cheaper for me to eat there. But no, using a coupon just makes it a slight splurge versus this is stupid. I love when my nervous system activates fight or flight when I'm standing next to some Oreos. Yeah. I don't go into the snack aisle for that reason. There's too many people. And there's too many unattended kids. Someone's unattended kid is going to run into me. And then they're going to start crying. And I'm not going to know where their parent is. And I'm going to freak the fuck out. I guess I'll talk about this because I was like, I don't know if I should mention this, but maybe someone will find it helpful, relatable, reassuring. But I've been taking a communal transport for work recently to get to my vehicle because it's kind of hard to get to on occasion. So I've been taking that. And I've been having visceral memories of being a larger person and feeling like you need to make yourself so small. Like you're like willing yourself to be tinier. When I play Rabbit and Steel, I always joke about think thin thoughts. But I'm trying to correct myself when I have those thoughts. Like there's no reason why anyone should want to take up less space, you know? If you're able to get in the vehicle and the driver is like, yeah, sure, come on in, you're fine. If anything, the only thing I get nervous about is that I'm gonna eat shit stepping out of the vehicle and like falling because I'm all cramped up with my backpack and I'm like, I'm gonna beef it. Oh, it's gonna happen one day and I'm gonna be so embarrassed. It's not an if, it's a when. I'm just trying to get my JoJo's physique so I can You gotta order before you can order, okay? Just saying. Ara. I am trying. Other than the blonde one, they don't fit on Pleasant. If JoJo doesn't fit on public transit, you don't need to either. I mean, it's not that I don't fit. It's that when it's really cramped, you have those thoughts, you know? Or like when you're in a crowded area, I don't know if everybody has those thoughts, but having thoughts of like, man, I wish I was smaller so I didn't inconvenience someone is like a shame, you know? So that's something that I've just been trying to like check myself on and just be like, hey, why am I having that thought? Like, not that I should be taking up more space, but don't be mean to yourself, you know? Don't be mean to yourself. Da, da, da. Yeah, I absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't like the grocery store is like, I do not want to feel cramped or feel like I can't get out. Yay, stressed people unite. So, Merlin, if you want to know what service I've been using, I can recommend it. But I don't know if they offer that locally everywhere because it seems like it's something new they're trying. So we'll see. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Make sure you have really good shoes or socks. You'll get bad blisters. Yeah. So I have a really, really good sneakers. And I'm probably going to get more when they eventually get down because I have to walk. Well, before I was walking really far into work and I still have to walk a little bit. It's a bit of a trek, but I actually just got some new boots that I need to lace up before I go to bed tonight because I coated them. But I need to lace them up because they're waterproof duck boots. because, oh my God, it floods so bad here. Raging. You know where I'm talking about, and you might be familiar with the area, but it's so flat and it floods everywhere. It's not that it like is big, like bridge ending floods, but there's just puddles everywhere. Potholes and puddles. Yeah. You gotta get some hiking books? Nice. Yeah. That area, yes. Oh, you never been there during the rainy season? Well, what I can tell you is there's not a rainy season. It's going to rain about every 2 weeks, at least, except maybe the winter. And yeah, it may not rain all day, but it's going to rain a lot. Like, I would say people call Seattle rainy. I think this area is comparable. It is surprisingly rainy. You've been there like twice. Okay. I wasn't sure. I know you said you had family here. I don't know how I feel about the rest of this hair here, but it be what it be, would it be what it is. He's thinking about going back. I mean, I guess I can understand why. There's a lot of like-minded people. If anything, I had someone ask, you know, hey, I think I was at the dentist office and they were asking, hey, how long have you been here? You know, do you like where you live? Because I wasn't originally from the area. And, you know, I had a moment where I was like, yeah, I really do like it here. I'm happy to live here. And I couldn't figure out why, but I think it's because there's a lot of like-minded people. There's a lot of crazy people. A lot of really crazy people. And a lot of really mean people, too. But, I don't know. There's like a... It's indescribable. But like, I think a lot of people here are pretty self-sufficient. Like they're going to solve a problem on their own. And it's not going to be a big deal, you know? And I appreciate that. And a lot of us mind our own business too. And I think that's just people got stuff to do. They're going around, but I don't know if I could describe it. Military adjacent. That's what I can say. Because of work, yeah. Again, he's coming back because of work. Dang, that sucks. Because I know he only moved a couple of months, like less than a year ago, right? Maybe 2 years ago. My timing is all messed up. This last year, I feel like, has just like evaporated away. Probably because I was up to a lot. But... I don't know if I even want to put line work in the braids, because I feel like sometimes when I put line work in the braids, they just kind of get messy with the shading. So I may just leave it until I get to the shading. Just do outlines of like the main shape. I think that's probably good for this part. Clean up there. I should save. I haven't saved in a while. I should save. I haven't saved for this whole time. Panic. Ugh. That's some freaking crazy anti-aliasing there. What the heck? I mean, I think I'll let it ride, but that's... Why is it anti-aliasing so hard? Or not anti... I don't know. Why is it all steppy? I mean, worst case, I just blur the line work, but... That's weird. Smacked my mic, sorry. But the good news is today was probably like the major step of trying to once again fix my audio issues. Ha 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 ha. Little improvements. It got worse before it's getting better. Because I know there's background noise. Hopefully there's not a background buzzing anymore, because I'm going to listen back to the VOD and hope that that's not present. I don't seem to be hearing it, so that's good, because my computer whirring was picking up really badly when it was still on my desk on my mic, even though my mic's directional. But I did get an underdesk mount, and we set that up today. It's got some foam on it that should absorb some of that sound. It seems to be better. I'm not hearing it like right now, but I am surrounded by walls that have brick behind them, which is awful for audio. So I am going to be that streamer that has foam all over their walls in a little bit. I think I have like 120, 12. I have a lot of foam cubes coming in. I got more than I need because I underestimated the size. But then I was like, well, I'm probably going to do floor to ceiling because I have hardwood floors, so I don't want to run out of them, you know? Because they were on sale. But I'm excited. I should just be able to tack them into the wall with some like thin picture frame pins, I hope, because it's just foam. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. Hopefully, if not next week, the next weekend. Wait, no. I think I'm getting them... What's today's date? I think I'm getting them on the 11th. And I'm just gonna smack them into the wall and hope I don't hit something. I'm probably going to need to be supervised. Reveled feels much better, which rightfully so, I guess. I'm prone to bad everything when it comes to home improvement projects. Prone to bad everything. So usually I need to be supervised. I've just accepted it at this point. So usually I'm just like, Revel, can you come help me? But in other words, we got a leaf blower, so we can finally like start clearing the leaves from our yard. Leaf-mageddon will be tamed soon. I'll have to post a picture of how many leaves there are. It's so many. We also found out that our neighbors are blowing leaves into our yard through the holes in the fence. And I was like, are you serious? I am not ready to start dealing with that. It's so soon after we've moved in. All right, I should probably wrap up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should wrap up. Okay. All right, so I'm going to wrap up for the evening. We got almost nothing done because it's only been like 2 hours. But I think this line art looks pretty slick, pretty nice. I'm excited for it. I'm going to keep working on it. And we'll be back on Saturday with something streaming. I might just be knitting. I might be playing a game. I don't have any promises for Saturday. We might be drawing again. Who knows? It'll be just vibes. And thank you for hanging out while I stream and chatting. It was really, really fun. Thank you for listening to me ramble about art and art careers. And remember that we are going to be streaming on Mondays and Tuesdays around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It may change depending on how my schedule changes, but it'll probably be around there, Eastern, give or take 1 hour, depending on how quickly I can get ready. And Saturdays are just whenever I'm awake and alive. Yeah, that's going to be it. I will catch you all later. Are we going to raid out this evening? Let's see who's live. Okay, we can go right out to Mel. Mel is currently playing Dragon Age Origins. Mel is a streamer who streams on both YouTube and Twitch, so I believe we'll be able to do a YouTube raid. Let me double check it. Let me see. And we'll get the start going. I think they're live on YouTube. They usually are. Indeed, Mel is streaming, so we're gonna unofficially raid on YouTube. I will post a link to Mel's stream. I hope everybody goes and checks out Mel's stream. They play Dragon Age and lots of Baldur's Gate and RPG stuff, and they're just a wonderful person to talk about with. Also, you should totally talk to Mel if you like Black Butler. Just saying. They have lots of takes. But I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for hanging out, and goodbye. Bye bye bye.